Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back. It is time for another Starcraft 2 Robots cast. We have got ourselves something a little bit different here. I stumbled upon a replay that is from the Starcraft 2 AI Cup of Palacky University, which is in the Czech Republic. Yeah, so this is actually going to be like a little bit more of a grassroots, or just a little bit more. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. It's just a tournament that is created by a few people for a university, which is really cool. That a university, I guess, PhD students, it says that actually decided to put on a StarCraft bot tournament, I guess, to test their programming skills and whatnot, and it is a good arena to do so. So we have got a TVT on the map they used for this cup. Going to be a bot called BronzBotJr taking on RoyalRush. Now, if I had to do a guess here, it would mean that we're probably going to be seeing a rush, and then just looking at the game unfolding, I think we're going to be seeing a rush on multiple fronts, as the I actually have no idea what that says, but one SCV just got hunted down by another SCV, and now these SCVs want vengeance, so they're going to be pursuing, but they do give up and decide to go back to work. These bots are doing what they can here. We see a Reaper on the way for BronzBot, whereas it's just Marines on the way for RoyalRush. There's one proxied Rax, a Marine actually scouting around on the map. So these bots are showing some pretty advanced behavior from what I can see. No orbital command from RoyalRush, which is interesting. And the bot's potentially heading into a supply block here, actually, which is not good for it. What? Where are you going? Oh my gosh, it's going to the island. No way. Okay, so the barracks are floating to this island, and the SCVs are running around. These Marines are just derping, being put down by this Reaper. They're constantly being issued commands, so they're not defending themselves. Everything is just clumping up on here. What did I cast? Okay, the Marines are scrapping now. More Reapers are on the way, but this map does have islands, so there's a chance that we could see a draw or something here as RoyalRush is just picking up, floating off. I wonder if its plan is just... I have no idea what its plan is. It's a very interesting approach, utilizing the fact that it is just one map to program a bot that utilizes that. SCVs are trying to kill off this Reaper, and they do succeed. And I guess the question for this game is now, which one of these... does BronzBot have the behavior to hunt this down, to build a factory, whereas we see RoyalRush is actually going for a gas? So there's going to be some sort of further tech here. It's so odd how the three barracks floated down here. BronzBot is running around the map with its Reapers, but it may never find this. And what an incredible way in a cup of programming to utilize the map and just the Terran floating mechanic just to hide the base and say basically, you better have thought of this, or I can really just do what I want off this one base. And if RoyalRush makes like a Banshee or something, and if BronzBot has no behavior to hunt this down or no follow-through behavior, RoyalRush could just win this game. And so this is an awesome showcase of Probot skill. Do we see something being typed by BronzBotJr? I have no idea what this means. But now we see Reapers moving around, jumping up and down these cliffs. A factory's on the way. So yeah, RoyalRush is teching up here. I am going to fast forward a little bit just to see where this goes, as this factory's on the way. Yeah, we see BronzBot scouting all over the place. BronzBot is expanding, so there is some sort of follow-up behavior here. However, until we see a factory or something like that on the lines... Okay, we see an eBay. So it is building extra buildings. It's building a supply depot in its mineral line, interestingly enough. All the while, RoyalRush is just kind of going for a starport. Marines are on the way for BronzBot, so there is anti-air on the way. There's tech labs on the way now. No factory yet, however. And look at this. BronzBot is just scouting all over the map. It's now going for +1, but it seems to just be a ground-based barracks composition. No change here. Whereas that starport is now on the way. Making a Viking is an interesting call by RoyalRush. Keep in mind, RoyalRush has to win this game. It could still potentially just be a draw here. Now, BronzBot kind of derping out a little bit, wondering what's going on? What's going on? This Viking has landed, interestingly enough. Nothing else is being produced by RoyalRush. Another Viking gets made. Is it just going to be mass Vikings? Which is odd. You'd think Banshees or battle cruisers would be superior. I'm not sure Vikings will be able to get the job done and kill BronzBot. So this game is just ridiculous. I'm sure my PC is going to melt as we watch these Marines run all over the place. There is a factory, though, on the way for BronzBotJr. So there is potential follow-up here to shut this down. We're now seeing starports on the way. Oh, this must have been identified. Okay. Okay, so there is the behavior to shut down, to prevent the floating buildings of just of any opponent. So BronzBot does have starports on the way here. Making lots of Marines at the same time. Meanwhile, RoyalRush is just holed up on this island. Oh, man. The thought that these programmers have had to put into just, like, managing this situation is ridiculous. This Viking's just laying hate across the gap there. Mass Vikings on the way. Whereas we're seeing reactors on the starports for BronzBot, so surely it's got to be Vikings of its own. Whether it'll be able to close the gap. No, it's actually going to be Medivacs. Oh my gosh, is it going to drop? Is this bot going to drop the island? Oh my gosh, mass Marine drop on the island. It was their stim pack research. There is stim, combat shield 1-1. The Medivacs are going to load units up into them. I don't think this drop is going to succeed into all these Vikings. This could potentially just be a suicide drop. Oh my gosh, all the Marines are now moving to get into position here, potentially to be elevated. It would be much better if BronzBot waits for a lot of units to then drop the island. It's interesting, though, that BronzBot has elected to just go for Medivacs, thinking to kill the island, and that it's not just hunting for floating buildings in, like, say, the top left corner, like is oh so common in Starcraft. More Medivacs on the way here for BronzBotJr. Of course, both of these bots will eventually run out of resources. No orbital command for RoyalRush yet, which is interesting. Yeah. This is something. So, an SCV with a Medivac has found these barracks over here, so they're going to be under attack. More Vikings on the way for RoyalRush. Just making Vikings. Just Vikings. Slowly filling up this island's real estate with supply depots. The Marines are all loading into the Medivacs here for BronzBot. This is one of the more wacky ProBot games I've seen. All the while, RoyalRush has just been trying this game to just build a robot republic, basically, on its own island. These Marines are loading up. We're now seeing Vikings on the way for BronzBot. It says, I need another starport. Just throwing them down willy-nilly all over the place. But BronzBot does have access to a lot more resources. So if I had to pick a bot that'll win here, it's probably going to be BronzBot. I'm wondering if these Vikings are constantly trying to land, but there's no room for them underneath these guys. What an interesting behavior. It looks like these Medivacs are thinking of dropping over here. These bots are now going to be cruising at around 8,000 APM. So that's just going up and up and up. RoyalRush with the most APM trying to land these Vikings constantly, it looks like. Meanwhile, the Reaper's still hugging this. Mass Vikings are on the way for BronzBot. So I think BronzBot is going to eventually figure this out, right? It really is a challenge for programmers to think, okay, I need my bot to go through all the possible steps of the game. And at some point, this has led BronzBotJr to loading up like 70 Marines into Medivacs and then flying the Medivacs back and forth because it wants to attack here. But then I take it also wants to attack here. So its behavior may change when this SCV kills these barracks. The mass Vikings are on the way. More factories are on the way for BronzBot. No more expansions yet. but it's definitely got the supply lead. All the while, RoyalRush is just filling this island up with more and more Vikings, and will eventually run out of resources. But who knows? Maybe it just lifts off and tries to make it to this island here. Who knows? Or if it'll just play for the draw. What interesting behavior here. I wonder if this is something that RoyalRush plans on doing every game, or if this is just what it does. We're gonna fast forward a little more here. Hopefully not going to miss any action, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the trigger. Oh, things are happening, of course, as I fast forward. So there is an attempted drop by BronzBot. Vikings are coming on in for BronzBot to secure the skies, and now there can be a drop going down here. A little bit of damage is getting dealt to some of these Vikings, but most of these units are just dying on unload. Who'd have thought unloading into 20-odd Vikings is a bad idea? Anytime a Viking pops out now for RoyalRush, it will be gunned down, it seems, though. More drops are being attempted, more Vikings moving across for BronzBot. The fact that the bots are doing this is just ridiculous. And I wonder how many layers deep they are in their AI tournament. Vikings gunning down Vikings as they pop out of the starport. So the units RoyalRush has are probably the units RoyalRush shall get. Vikings picking off more Vikings. There's not many resources left here for RoyalRush. I'm curious to see if BronzBot will eventually just land its Vikings or not. Medivac constantly healing this Reaper as it gets shot. Another Vikings popping out, getting shot down as soon as that happens. It's funny, if BronzBot made one battle cruiser or one Banshee, it would just kill everything on the ground, and these Vikings would have to lift up. But alas, it's hard to predict that kind of thing when you're programming bots. I imagine that a lot of work has been put into these bots as far as the depth that these programmers have gone to, and so it's really quite impressive to see that they've reached this stage, that there's a meta developing in this independent tournament, leading to a Viking flower here for BronzBot, just killing off any Vikings that pop out. There's now no minerals left for RoyalRush, so that's it. Nothing. One Viking popping out. This barracks is gonna die eventually. A mule has been dropped on this mineral patch. It's like, why now? Why has this mineral patch been attempted to be harvested? Or, oh my gosh, these SCVs are trying to get over to this base. BronzBot is not aware that BronzBot is not aware that there is a gap here that it needs to overcome. Oh, wait, what? All the Vikings died? Did RoyalRush lift its Vikings up? Oh, okay. Slow. There we go. Let's see what happened here. RoyalRush at some point took to the skies and it did not work out. No surprise. Well, it is 33 Vikings to 25. So in theory, RoyalRush should win this, but it's moving its Vikings atrociously. Oh my gosh, it tries to land its Vikings on the ground. Some stay in the sky. BronzBotJr goes for the unload, and I guess that's going to be the game. What a wacky game. I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I cast this game. I hope you guys do not mind a bit of a more odd bot cast. This SCV is still working away on this barracks. The island has been breached. There's one Viking racking up the kills here on these Reapers. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button, comment more bots if you want to see more more out there bots that aren't necessarily in the developed meta. I figure I can't just cast the best bots all the time, because that kind of discredits the authors who put in a lot of work to their bots still. And clearly there's been a lot of work going into these bots. The fact that this game wasn't just a stalemate and that it eventually resolved itself, it appears. BronzBot has yet to expand anymore and is elevating SCVs over to this base one by one with the Medivac, although that Medivac's going all over the place. This is such odd behavior. The funny thing is, these programmers could just look at their bots and be like, yeah, that's exactly why. Why would it not do that? That makes total sense. And they can totally just look and see, like, yeah, I programmed that. Maybe they'll adjust their behavior. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, hit that bell. What one did I miss? Yeah, comment, more bots down below. I'll see you guys next time.